Hey guys, and welcome to another ranking episode. And today we're looking at the cast of Big Brother 2. And I watched this season. This was the second season of US Big Brother I watched Big Brother 24 first, which was last year's Big Brother. And then I went right back to the start. I didn't watch season 1 because apparently it was very much similar to the UK version. And I wanted to watch some drama. And this show delivered. This was an incredible season of TV, and I'm very, very excited to get into the rankings. So, join me as I rank the contestants of Big Brother 2. So, as you can see, we've got some tiers. So, the first one is favourite. That's reserved for one person and one person only per tier list. Amazing player, someone who was very, very entertaining, played the game very, very well, and who I just liked. You got outplayed, someone that I did like, but they just weren't playing the game very well, or there were mistakes that they made that led to their elimination, or they just weren't great at playing the game, but they were very, very lovely people. Up for elimination, people that I didn't really care for. I could have seen them go whenever. I didn't really like them, and they weren't particularly nice all the time, so I never really created a bond with them over anything. Kindly leave. Just people that I didn't like. Just period. Just didn't like. And yeah, they just didn't float my boat at all. And then the final category is get out the house, reserved for people who were just horrendous people. Genuinely horrendous people. So, without much further ado, let's jump straight in. And our first one is Justin, who is going straight in the get out of the house. So, what I was so confused about with this series is that they very much never really showed anything to do with Justin until he was evicted, or not evicted, until he was just taken out of the game, because they got to a point where he was making out with Krista or something like that, and she was very drunk, and he started to hold a knife to her neck or something, and ask her what she'd do if he killed her. It was very, very strange, and apparently there was a lot of aggressive behaviour leading up to that, but we didn't see any of it until they needed a justification as to why they removed him from the house. But he's just not a very nice person. He wasn't invited back to the end. I think they like to forget that he was there. He didn't show any remorse in his exit interview with Julie Chen, who I love. I love Julie Chen. She's amazing. Big love to that woman. But she was literally like, do you regret it? And he was like, no. I think it's all blown out of proportion. And I just thought, you know what? You're just being a bit of a twat, and I don't like you anymore. So, not that I ever did in the first place. Cheryl, bless her, she got outplayed. Oh my god, Cheryl is the loveliest person. Was the loveliest person in this cast. She was not built for this game. She was not built for this game. Mike put her up week 1 against Nicole, and Nicole played the game, and Cheryl went home. And I think Mike realised at that point that was when things were going to go down in this house, because this is where the Chilltown and the Leftovers kind of started to form. I don't know whether they were called the Leftovers, the Outcasts, I can't remember. But they essentially orchestrated Cheryl's exit in order to save Nicole. And we'll get to Nicole later, but I have some opinions on her. And I do think Cheryl went too soon, and I'm so gutted that she got put up straight away, because she was just such a kind person, and Fortunately, when she left, she was able to get medical help for her cancer, but oh, I would have loved to have seen her for like another couple of weeks because she genuinely didn't think she was going to go, and then they blindsided her and she got eliminated, which sucked. So yeah, big love to you, Cheryl. Hope you're doing okay. Even though this was, I don't know why I'm checking my watch if that's going to tell me the year. This was 2001, which was 22 years ago. So I'm sure she's absolutely fine now. Autumn. I'm gonna put you in up for elimination. She was a bit whiny, and she had a few arguments with people, mostly Shannon, who we'll get onto in a second. And I never felt like I liked her that much. She didn't seem like she was particularly wanting to play the game. She didn't seem like she wanted to make bonds and friendships with people, and I think she went at a good time. I don't think that she would have stayed in the competition much beyond week 2. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in the up for elimination because I probably would have voted for her to leave rather than wanted her to stay if I was in that house. Just because she didn't really add anything entertainment wise, and it was just unfortunate to watch at times. Shannon. I really didn't like Shannon, and I think that's purely because everybody goaded her into being this villain of the series, and then she just leaned into it and became the villain of the series. And so when she was put up for like nominations against Will, I think people saw that as their opportunity to get that negative energy out of the house. Because once she was out of the house and once Mike was out of the house, the vibes got a lot nicer. And I think, like, whereas Mike had funny moments and he was very much sort of like, he was making up those stupid little raps, Shannon was just a horrible person at times. Like, she took Hardy's toothbrush and used it on the toilet and then just put it back. And then they had to call her into the diary room and be like, you can't do that. Like, that's not something a kind person does. And so I thought week 3, I was happy with her to go at week 3 because I felt like she had outlived her entertainment factor. There wasn't much more she could do without upsetting the rest of the house, which was a shame. But yeah, I would have definitely voted for her to leave. In fact, I probably would have put her up for elimination if I was HOH. So yeah, bye. Mike, I'm gonna put him below Cheryl because I liked Cheryl more, and Mike turned into a bit of a bitter person towards the end. I can't remember who he was up for elimination against. I think he was up against Krista because him and Krista had a little like relationship going on, and he did seem like a genuinely lovely person, and he was just a victim of a suspected alliance, and so he just got voted off. And so I don't think he was a good player in the game because obviously he didn't fly under the radar. He was very much on everyone's radar constantly, and that's what got him voted out week 4. But he still had entertaining moments, and I still can't believe that he proposed to Krista at the end of the series. I don't think anything came of it, but like that was a wild stunt to pull on national television, and you gotta applaud the balls on him for that. Honestly, you gotta applaud it. Kent was one of those people that I enjoyed watching, but I didn't so much care for his attitude towards things. Especially in his last week in the house, he was very aggressive. He was not a very nice person. And it also did not help that the first day that he was in the house, he walked up to Bunky, who is gay, and started harping on about how he thinks that being gay is a deviant lifestyle. And I was just sitting there in shock because obviously Bunky's in the diary room going, this guy don't know I'm gay. And like, Kent's just out here being like, yeah, I think it's wrong. But I will say this in Kent's defense, not in his defense, but in something that redeems him, is how he forged a friendship with Bunky in spite of the fact that he didn't necessarily agree with his lifestyle. And like, I'm now watching Big Brother 3, and it's very clear that they've kept in touch and that there is a genuine friendship there, which was really lovely to see. And I did feel like Kent was very protective over Bunky, as Bunky was over Kent to an extent. So there was definitely a lovely friendship there. And in spite of the whole first day deviant lifestyle chat, he was an entertaining housemate, but I think I couldn't have had him in the house longer than he was in, because he did end up being a pretty negative force in the house, which was a shame because he was quite good at playing the game up until a certain point. But yeah, I just didn't appreciate the comments he made, and yeah, sometimes it was just a bit awkward, and I was just like, oh. But I liked him more than Autumn. Autumn was only in there for 2 weeks, whereas Kent was in there for 5, so I feel like I got to know Kent a lot more. But yeah, I can't put him above Cheryl and Mike just because of some of the comments he made. Krista, you got outplayed. You did, and that's what sucked, because Krista could have easily made it to the end, and then I don't know what happened. Something happened in week 6 that fucked everything up, because suddenly all of the alliances started getting leaked. Hardy's alliance with Monica and Krista, Krista's alliance with Monica and with Monica, and then Nicole. I think Nicole was the sort of HOH that week, and she put up Krista and... Did she put up Krista and Monica? I think she put up Krista and Will. She put up Krista and somebody, and Krista got sent home. And I wasn't surprised at that point. She did get outplayed because somebody started stirring the pot against her. And I think it was Will. Will started stirring the pot against her to Nicole, and Nicole ended up putting Krista up and sent her packing. And it was a brilliant strategy, is what I'd say. And I think she did quite well. She did quite well to make it to 6th place. She got in the top 50% of the cast, but her time came, and unfortunately she did get outplayed. But I still really enjoyed her. I think she had some great moments in the show. And it was so endearing to hear about her backstory as well. Like, I felt like that's what made me like her a lot more, was hearing about her sort of her home life, how I think she was a waitress in like a diner or something, and that's why she wanted to win this money so she could give her daughter a better life. It was just a very, very lovely story, and she was just a very, very lovely person, but she got outplayed. And well, no, it's not quite Survivor. But yeah. Bunky, I'm going to give you Amazing Player. I really, really, really liked Bunky. And I think Bunky was incredibly whiny. But also, he was under the radar for so long. Like, every week they'd be like, Bunky's kind of just chilling here. Bunky's kind of just chilling. And then I think in that final week, he knew he was going home, because he knew he wasn't going to win against any of those people. Probably everybody thought they could win against Will, but more on that later. But yeah, Bunky was just very, very entertaining, and I just found him really endearing. The fact that, like, he was sort of very reluctant to come out and tell people that he was gay, and then he did, and everyone was really accepting of it, even Kent to an extent, which was really nice to see. And I just thought he was just such a fascinating person to watch on TV, and I think he was one of the nicer people in the Big Brother house that season, who unfortunately didn't make it to the end because he wasn't in a strong enough alliance with people. Like the top four really had strong bonds with each other. Apart from Will. Will just kept on skating by. But yeah, unfortunately he came fifth, and I did really, really like him, and he was lovely. Hardy. Oh, Hardy got outplayed. Hardy was Hardy was running the show from week 2 or 3 until he lost the that right, okay, so that was the week that Hardy had put up Will and Bunky gone home, and then they were having to hold on to this thing, and Nicole let go because Will had moved the blanket, and that took her out of the game, which basically meant whoever won out of Will and Monica, I think Monica ended up winning, like Hardy was getting voted up and voted out of the house because Will had the power and he wanted Hardy out because he knew he could manipulate Monica, he knew he could manipulate Nicole, but he could not manipulate Hardy, and so Hardy had to go. And he got outplayed. I'm sorry, he did. He was an amazing player. I can't quite put him up there because he did get outplayed. But he also, I think I also just didn't want him to win. Any one of the top 3 in my mind could have won, personally, for me. But he was just too good at the game, and so he needed to go. It's kind of the same reason why, like, in Big Brother 24, there's a, I'm not going to say names just because spoilers, but there's a contestant in it that wins a lot of challenges, and they systematically vote them out just because they're a threat with challenges. Not because they think they're going to win, but because they're a threat with challenges. And that was crazy to me. The fact that was the kind of gameplay, and that's what I saw here. Hardy was doing very well in most challenges and easily could have made it to the finale and easily could have had the votes to win. But he had to go. He had to go. And that brings us to our top 3. Our top 3, Monica, my favourite person in the house, and I cannot tell you how much my heart broke for her when she found out the news that her cousin had been in the Twin Towers when 9/11 happened. It kind of blindsided me in the show because I forgot that it was taking place in like autumn 2001. So when the next episode started and Julie Chen was like, yeah, we've had to postpone this week because of 9/11, I was like, oh shit, I forgot that would, like, 9/11 would have impacted everything, not just from like travel to like people's lives, but it would have impacted like reality TV shows. There probably would have been 24-hour news coverage on most channels. So it broke my heart. And I think I'd already been liking Monica, but I was always sort of like, when is Monica going to get eliminated? Because she's almost skirting by too much, and I'm surprised no one's noticed her yet. But she made it all the way to top 3, and the only reason she was eliminated by Nicole is because Nicole believed she could win over Will. And I do think, personally, Nicole did not have a hope in hell of winning. Especially when it came down to Monica herself and Will. Because Monica, if Monica had made it to the finale, she'd have won, probably by a clean slate. Everybody in that house loved her. I don't think there was a single person that disliked Monica. And that's why I loved her, because she was just genuinely so lovely. Yes, she had fiery moments. Yes, she had moments where she was a bit catty and off. But We all have those moments. If you're in a house with the same people 24/7 for, I think she was in there for 80 odd days, of course you're going to have moments where you're low on energy and you just snap and you just go after someone. It's not all fun and games. But yeah, she was just such a great competitor, and I really, really enjoyed watching her on Big Brother. Yeah. Nicole, you're going to go an amazing player. You played the game very, very well. You're up for elimination right at the start, first week, and you survived all the way to the end. Not many people can say that. Not many people who get put up for elimination first week make it to the finale, top 2. And that's an incredible feat. There were moments where I didn't like Nicole, and there were moments where I loved Nicole. And I think that was the line she was constantly walking. Was sometimes she'd be an emotional wreck and be really angry and moody, and then other times I thought she was one of the best players in the house, and I always wanted to see what she had in store for us next. Never a dull moment with Nicole. And I think a lot of people disliked her at the time, but like watching the show without any sort of like bias of like what people were thinking at the time, I really liked her. I thought she was great, and I thought she played the game bloody fabulously. I do think that there was that moment where the banner went over, and like I'm so confused what happened there. Like her husband was accusing her of doing something with Will or something like that, and it felt weird because obviously Will had already, like, Shannon had a boyfriend and then still was like getting with Will in the house, so like that felt icky already. And then like the whole thing with Nicole just didn't make sense because we had seen the stuff with Shannon, but we hadn't seen the stuff with Nicole and Will enough to make me think it was anything more than just banter. Like there was the moment where she tried to like call his bluff, but obviously that was a joke and she stopped it before it went too far. But I don't know, there was just something off about that moment, and it was quite dramatic actually, I thought. Will, I've got to applaud him. I have to. And if Monica wasn't my favourite, he would be my favourite, because he started out week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 as the most hated person in the house, and every other member of Chilltown got systematically eliminated. But then I think people started realising, if we keep Will in to the end, no one's going to vote for him to win, so like it's an easy win. But then he kind of just, he made it very, very clear from the start. He was going to lie, he was going to cheat, he was going to con everybody out of this and backstab his way to the finale. And he did. And people got pissed off at him, but realistically they can't, because that's what he told them he was going to do from the get-go. He told them he was going to be playing a game. He told them over and over again, and they didn't listen. And I think that's why people voted for him in the end, because mostly out of spite for Nicole, because Nicole was instrumental in a lot of them leaving, but also because Will played the best game. He made it to the finale against all odds. Like, when I started watching it and it got to like week 2 or week 3 and they were actively hating on Will, I thought, no way is he making it past week 5. It's going to go Shannon, Mike, Will. And then when he didn't go week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, etc, 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 I just thought, this guy could win. And he did, because he was incredible and he really, really played the game well. So yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching. That was the Big Brother Season 2 of the American version. That was the rankings, and I hope you liked it. Let me know if you agree, disagree with my decisions. I feel like I've kind of got a good order going on. I wouldn't say that like I would change any of them personally, but if you do, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next ranking video, whenever that may be. Keep on ranting. Bye now.